You know, sometimes a single story posted online can tell you everything you need to know about family, about safety, and about the surprising places we find community. So today, we're going to break down one of those stories, a cry for help that started with a punch and ended with a very, very direct question.
So, this is the question. A 15-year-old boy posted this on a Reddit forum. And look, he wasn't just looking for people to feel sorry for him, he needed a reality check, big time. He was trapped in a situation that had just blown up into physical violence, and he needed to know if his own gut reaction was justified.
All right, so let's set the scene here. The person who posted this, he's just 15 years old. He's just walked in the door from MMA practice, and he's in his own home. You know, the one place on earth he's supposed to feel completely safe. And according to him, as he's coming from the shower, his stepdad doesn't just bump into him. In his own words, the man straight up grabbed and squeezed his ass. I mean, this was a deliberate act. It totally crossed a line, a huge one. And his reaction? It was instant. He says it was just a reflex. He punched his stepdad and ended up breaking his nose. He makes it really clear he didn't want that to happen, but it was just this gut reaction to being violated like that. And this is where things get just wild, a total disconnect. For the boy, it's simple. His action was a direct response to a serious violation. But his mom's reaction? She tells him to lighten up, saying it's normal between men. Can you believe that? And that insane response is exactly why he went online to ask thousands of strangers for their take.
And oh boy, did the internet deliver a verdict. Thousands of people basically processed his story and became the jury that his own mother refused to be.
Okay, first, a little Reddit 101 for anyone who doesn't know. On this forum, the judgment comes in abbreviations. NTA stands for not the asshole, and it's basically a verdict that says you are 100% in the right. And the judgment wasn't just, a close call. It was a landslide. Absolutely overwhelming support started pouring in, and a lot of it looked just like this, a perfect score.
I mean, look at this comment. It just perfectly captures that instant, powerful validation he got. There was zero hesitation. Nobody saw his punch as aggression. They saw it as the perfect response to something that never, ever should have happened.
And this pretty much sums up the vibe of the whole comment section. The general feeling was that the stepdad's broken nose was a direct and, frankly, a well-deserved consequence of his own actions. That phrase, fucked around and found out, was everywhere. But here's the thing. It went way beyond just saying NTA. The community dug in, they deconstructed the whole situation, and gave this kid the words and the game plan that his own family was completely denying him. Okay, so this is where the whole thing really turns a corner. It goes from just a quick judgment to this incredible act of group analysis. They didn't just tell him he was right. They basically handed him a new way to see what was really going on. First up, they reframed the punch. He felt super guilty about it, He thought he did something wrong. But the community was like, no, stop. That wasn't an attack. That was self-defense. And then came the really critical part. They put a name to what the stepdad did. It wasn't inappropriate. It wasn't a joke. It was sexual assault. And people told him, you need to use those exact words. Because calling it what it is, that's the first and most important step.
And then, as he's talking to people in the comments, he drops this really chilling detail. Turns out this wasn't some one-off thing. It was just the first time it had actually gotten physical.
So he mentions his underwear had been going missing. The stepdad would accidentally walk in on him all the time or just stare. The community saw this immediately. This isn't just a bunch of random, creepy things. It's a textbook pattern of grooming that was clearly and dangerously escalating. And of course, everyone zeroed in on the mom's role in all of this. Like this commenter points out, her just excusing what happened, well, it kind of fits into a bigger picture of bad judgment. In the internet's eyes, she wasn't just a bystander. She was an enabler. All right, so now they have a name for it. Sexual assault, a pattern of grooming. And that's when the community shifts from just talking about it to doing something about it. They literally crowdsourced a safety plan that his own parents completely failed to give him. And what came out of thousands of comments was this incredibly clear step-by-step playbook. Okay, step 1, call the cops, file a report for sexual assault. Step 2, get Child Protective Services involved. Step 3, you gotta tell your biological dad everything.
Step 4. Talk to a teacher or counselor at school. They're mandatory reporters. 5. Gather any proof you have, like texts. And number 6, the most important one, get out of there. Get to a safe place right now. And you know what? It worked. He posted an update and confirmed he was taking all of this advice to heart. He was going to file that police report, and he'd already made plans to go stay with a friend to get safe, immediately.
So why did we break this whole story down? Because it's about so much more than just one family's terrible crisis. It says something really, really important about where we find help in today's world.
What this story really shows us is that sometimes when the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones who fail, help can show up from the most unexpected places. For this kid, a bunch of anonymous strangers on the internet became the support system his own home failed to be.
I mean, when you look at it, the breakdown is just so clear. His family, they completely failed him. The official channels, like the police, they were the right advice, but it was the online community that actually delivered. They gave him the validation, the right words for his trauma, and a real actionable plan he needed to escape. And that really leaves us with this one big important question. For this 15-year-old boy, the answer was a forum full of strangers. And his story is just this powerful reminder that in our digital world, that community of strangers can sometimes be the lifeline you never ever thought you'd need.